Welcome to Business Pitfalls and Profits, where we unravel the captivating world of unfamiliar but successful corporations and explore the highs and lows of celebrity endorsements and partnerships in the business realm. Subscribe now to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you'll never miss an episode. And engage with me in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, your insights, and even suggestions for future episodes. Hey y'all, I'm Hisha. In today's episode, we're going to look at the business partnership between Kanye West and Adidas. Let's check it out. Adidas and Kanye West announced their partnership in November 2013, after West said he had terminated his contract with Nike because the company refused to pay him royalties for the Yeezy sales. And after much anticipation, West and Adidas released their first joint sneaker, the Yeezy Boost 750, in February 2015. From then on, Adidas and West had 3 amazing years together where they launched various Yeezy products and topped sales. More and more people were getting the Yeezy products. The beginning of troubled waters. In May 2018, Kanye West said in an interview that slavery is a choice. He said this referring to a 400-year-long African-American slavery history. While West always pushed the envelope with his music and other prospects, this was the first time that the Adidas CEO had to justify the company's relationship with the artist, as his statement about slavery offended many people. West later apologized for his statement and for hurting people's sentiments. As Kanye's relationship with Adidas continued, Yeezy sales exceeded $1 billion for the first time in 2019. With the popularity of Yeezys climbing, the company started an annual 2-day event in August of 2019. Yeezy Day. The first annual Yeezy Day sparked a frenzy on social media. It eventually became one of the biggest festivals for the sneaker giant. However, 3 years later in 2022, the Yeezy Day celebration badly annoyed West when many sneakerheads ended the day frustrated that they didn't get their favorite hype pair. West accused Adidas of creating Yeezy Day without his consent and expressed dissatisfaction over it. Yeezy Day only increased the popularity of Yeezy products in the end. Yeezy became 68% of Adidas's online sales. A year later, Adidas sold nearly $1.7 billion worth of Yeezy products in 2020. In September 2020, West asked for a seat on the Adidas board and said that he would wear Jordans until then. It was in that same year that Kanye announced that he would run for a presidential election. His infamous presidential campaign, for which he contributed nearly $12.5 million of his own money, and he raised just a little more than $2 million from outside donors. It was a failed campaign. Now, as Kanye West had uncountable controversies around him at the time, many brands associated with him started to review their terms. He publicly ended major corporate tie-ups and bashed many celebrities online during this time. Many companies didn't even think twice before cutting ties with him over his irresponsible speech and behavior. Balenciaga also severed its ties with Kanye in October 2022. They collaborated to launch a Yeezy Gap line as part of a 10-year deal that expected to generate more than $1 billion in revenue. When asked about it, West said that the day he was taken off of the Balenciaga site was one of the most freeing days for him. He added that the brands are cutting ties with him to score points with the other brands and are trying to silence him. This was during that time. Now, coming towards the biggest split of them all, the rapper said some very vile remarks about Jewish people. And then Ye sparked outrage when wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt during the Paris Fashion Week in October of 2022. As Adidas faced increasing public pressure to drop Ye, the rapper told host of the Drink Champs podcast that he could literally say any anti-Semitic thing and Adidas couldn't drop him. The comments prompted Adidas to review their partnership, and with the company then confirming that it would end the relationship with the rapper. Now, in the past, just a little note, Adidas has explicit ties with Germany's Nazi Party. The founder of Adidas was Adolf Dassler, who was a German entrepreneur and a member of the Nazi Party. Keeping with all the facts in line, the Germany sportswear giant Adidas finally terminated its deal with Kanye West on October 25th, 2022. Now, how badly was Adidas impacted? The sports giant was warned at the time that ending its partnership with Ye would have a significant impact on its financial results. The Yeezy products was a highly lucrative and overhyped part of their business model. Back then, Adidas announced that the separation had cost the company around $640 million in revenue for the fourth quarter of 2022, when he was expected to bring in $1.2 billion in sales that year. The company could face a total loss of revenue of $1.5 billion due to the unsold shares. They're weighing options for it and want to come up with some profitable solutions for the unsold stock of Adidas shoes. The loss is definitely not one-sided though. Forbes magazine said that the end of the deal with Adidas shrank West's net worth to $400 million. This deal accounted for $1.5 billion of his net worth, and the ending of the deal immediately knocked him out of the billionaire ranks. Now, other problems that Adidas have. Investors ended up suing Adidas over the Kanye West collaboration in a class action lawsuit. The lawsuit says that the company misled shareholders by hiding details of the artist's anti-Semitic behavior. Adidas, of course, rejected the claims, and this was reported just in May of 2023. The proposed class action lawsuit filed in the United States District Court in Oregon alleged that the former CEO, the company's chief financial officer, they were involved in disseminating false and misleading statements about the Adidas relationship with Mr. West. The defendants failed to disclose that Mr. West made anti-Semitic comments in front of Adidas staff and suggested naming an album after Adolf Hitler, the complaint said. The lawsuit cited an article in the Wall Street Journal which documented Mr. West's behavior in front of Adidas staff members. They discussed it in 2018, the risk of continuing a relationship with Mr. West that they feared could blow up at any moment, the journal reported. It states, Adidas was aware of his behavior and failed to warn investors that it was aware of that behavior and had considered ending the partnership as a result of it, the lawsuit said. Adidas failed to take meaningful precautionary measures to limit negative financial exposure if the partnership was to end as a result of West's behavior. An Adidas spokesman said the company rejected the claims in the lawsuit and will take all necessary measures to vigorously defend themselves against them. Now, also, what recently happened was the Adidas inventory sell-off. Now, in the attempt for Adidas to sell off the inventory that they had on stock, Kanye West was reported to pocketed $25 million from the Adidas sale just 24 hours after leftover Yeezy stock from the pair's dysfunctional partnership flew off the shelves this week. The German sports giant severed ties with Ye last year after the mogul made a string of anti-Semitic remarks in interviews and across social media. After terminating their contract, the company initially was reluctant to release the remaining Yeezy items it had in storage, but ended up announcing that it would be selling off the backlog to the public. After careful consideration, we have decided to begin releasing some of the remaining Adidas Yeezy products, the CEO said in a statement. Selling and donating was the preferred option among all organizations and stakeholders we spoke to. We believe that this is the best solution as it respects the creative designs and produced shoes. It works for our people, resolves an inventory problem, and will have a positive impact in our communities. There is no place in sport or society for hate of any kind, and we remain committed to fighting against it. The first of 3 drops planned for Yeezy Day 2023 kicked off in May and was reported a roaring success. So in conclusion, Kanye West has lost over $1 billion after being canceled out by Adidas and other brands over his anti-Semitic comments and hate speech toward Jews. Both Kanye and Adidas have suffered losses in ending their years-long Yeezy deal. Adidas seemed optimistic about his coming back in the coming years after losing $1.5 billion in the ending deal, and Kanye acts unaffected and denied facing any loss. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Business Pitfalls and Profits. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss our next one. And most importantly, Like it, share it with your fellow entrepreneur advocates. And until next time, stay curious and keep thriving.